Do you want to get free stuff because you're just so awesome at whatever it is you do? Well, if so, this is not the video for you. What's up, everybody? I'm THEDEREKFRANK, and today we're going to talk about how to get an endorsement deal. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now, not only have I had endorsement deals of my own, but I'm also an artist relations manager. So I'm the guy that is probably your first line of defense when handing out an endorsement deal. So when you are interested in working with a company or a brand, I'm the guy that you usually need to talk to first. So I'm going to go through some do's and don'ts on how you can get an endorsement deal. The first step in getting an endorsement deal, whether it's music equipment or sports equipment, or maybe you're an influencer that does makeup or whatever it is know what your niche is and know how those brands and those products are going to impact your market. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, the point of getting an endorsement deal is to sell products for the company. Don't try to get endorsement deals with products you don't use and you don't believe in. Why would a company want somebody that doesn't already have an invested relationship with their product want to work with you? And likewise, why would you want to work with a company that you don't care about what they do? Not only should you care about the product, and it should be something that you use and are passionate about, but you should also care about the company, maybe their core values, the people that work there. That's such an important thing because you have built a relationship with this company now, and you are going to have to harbor that relationship sometimes for a year or 2 years or however long your contract is, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable doing it with that company. Be realistic. When I say be realistic, I mean don't go in there thinking that you're going to get all kinds of free stuff, because most of the time you're not. Especially in the music industry, which is my expertise, you're probably not going to get free equipment. The best thing you can do is present yourself as you already have this equipment and you want to help the brand sell more of that product or get the word out, and then in turn they reward you or pay you by giving you a discount or sometimes free gear. But really, it's more so about being realistic and setting your expectations so that you are not shocked when you don't get what you think you deserve, and the company's not angry when you're asking too much. Don't lie. Don't make up numbers. Don't try to fool artist relations managers or people at the company that are going to hold your fate. It's going to come out that you're lying, and it's going to be easy to see through that. And maybe if it's not easy at first, it will be down the road. And again, you're building a relationship with this company or this brand, so be honest. Be a good hang. If you're a musician and you've been on a tour, then you know that one of the biggest parts is that you just have to be cool enough to hang around with for multiple hours a day. You're sitting in small spaces with people, you're riding a van or a bus, and then you're on stage with them. You're around these people a lot. The same goes with getting an endorsement deal. If you're going to trade shows with these brands, or you're going to events or clinics, or maybe you're going out and doing appearances and signing autographs, or whatever it is you do, you're working with that company. So make sure you're cool to hang out with. Don't send canned emails. Make sure your emails are personal. Don't send the same email to 10 different brands that say the same thing. And if you only change one word in that email to make it more fitting for the brand that you sent that email to, it's going to be very obvious. I see this on a daily basis. just take a few extra minutes out and write a personal email for that brand that you're looking for. In your personalized email, have your numbers ready. This is actually something that people try to fake a lot. Say you're a musician and you've got 3,000 people on Instagram that follow you and they're pretty engaged with you. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't buy more followers. Be honest, because if you have those 3,000 people that are pretty engaged with you, that's a pretty good target market. And then the company will also see that you're being honest and that you're still dedicated, but they can grow with you. It's sometimes hard for companies to work with the big stars right out of the gate because they're so big that they don't necessarily have the brand loyalty, and they really don't need the brand to promote them. It's more so the brand needs them. So if they find an artist that is younger and hasn't come up in the ranks yet, but they're showing promise, then it's more likely that they're willing to work with you. As far as those numbers go, make sure you have all of your social media numbers ready. Have your followers, have your engagement rate, have your average likes per post, and make sure you know all of your KPIs. If you don't know what KPI means, look that up right now and make sure you have it ready. It's so easy to do it. Facebook already has their analytics with the Facebook Creator Studio that you can find all of your Instagram and Facebook stuff in one place. You can use things like Hootsuite. There's a lot of ways to find all of those numbers. And if you have them really short and concise and ready to go, it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot faster for that AR manager or somebody at the company to sift through that and realize, hey, they are or they're not a good fit. Do your research about the company and the person you're supposed to talk to at that company. If you're calling or emailing the company, make sure you know what it is they do. The last thing you want to do is contact the company and look dumb because you don't really know the products. I see this at trade shows, especially things like NAMM, all the time. People come up and they're like, I really love your products, and they don't really know anything about them. So when I start asking them questions, oh, which ones do you like? Oh, all of them. Things like that are really easy to see through. So do your research. And again, doing your research is easy to do if you already know the products and use them and love them. Don't send a novel in your email. It's great to have all of your info ready, like I said, but keep it to about 2 paragraphs or 3 really short paragraphs. The reason being is I'm probably not going to read all that anyways because I get so many emails, but we understand that you want to impress us, you want to tell us everything about you, but if you give me the links to your sites and your social media and your website, I'm going to look at them, and that's going to give me a better idea if you're going to be somebody I want to work with. The next do is something I like to call the 30-60-90 rule. If you send an email and you don't hear back from that person, after 30 days, send a follow-up. If you still don't get an email back after 60 days, send another follow-up. If you still don't get a response after 90 more days,
I think I figured it out.
He is not interested.
Now really what that means is if you don't hear back, it's just because they're so busy and they get so many requests. They probably did see your message, but you just didn't meet their requirements. Now, to go along with the 30-60-90 rule, the next don't is don't be a pest. Don't constantly send emails over and over and over again. I know it might seem like you're checking up and you're doing the right thing by staying on top of it, but also, if you're not getting that response or you're not already an artist, don't be a pest, because then it's going to also make the company not want to work with you because they know that you're going to be high maintenance. This also goes back to being a good hang. Be a good hang, don't be a pest. Just let things flow. It's okay to follow up on things if you didn't hear back, but do it with some discretion. Start a relationship with the AR manager. What do I mean by start a relationship? If you live in the same town or you're going to be in the same town as that person, ask them to go out for coffee. If you don't live in the same town, strike up conversation, send an email, introduce yourself, and just keep them up to date on what you're doing and why you like their product. If you are selling yourself as your own brand and you make a relationship with me, it's going to be more likely that I want to work with you. Don't ask for an endorsement deal at a trade show. Don't go to NAMM or CES or whatever big show and ask somebody for an endorsement deal. We are so busy at those shows, and those shows are meant to sell product. They're not to bring artists on. Very rarely do I ever sign an artist immediately after meeting them at a trade show. The only time that might happen is if they're a massive, huge star and it's somebody that I know I want to work with. But that's very, very rare. Do understand that if you get an endorsement deal, you are now a representative of that company. And that comes up to our next don't. Don't be on social media talking about politics and talking about hot topics unless you're willing to accept that a company probably doesn't want to work with you because of that. It's great to have convictions and it's great to have morals, and I want everybody to stand up for what they believe in. But just like a job, understand that if you are so strong in those convictions, sometimes it's a liability for a company to want to work with you. This one is one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't add me on social media just to ask me for an endorsement deal. I know why you sent me a friend request. I look at who we have as mutual friends. I look through your pictures and I look at as many details as I can before I accept it. A lot of times, even though I know what you want, I'll still accept it. Not always, but a lot of times I will. The reason that I do that is because I want to see how you interact. It's just like if you're getting hired for a job. I'm basically giving you a job interview. I want to see if you're easygoing online. I want to make sure you're not out there doing all kinds of rants about politics and everything else that might look bad on the company. And also, I'm seeing how long it takes you to really talk to me about what you want and how you do that. If you want to send me a message and introduce yourself and say, hey, I really love your products, I'd love to chat with you some more, okay, that's not a bad way to start. If the first thing you say is, hey, you need to give me an endorsement deal because I can do this and I'm so great and I'm this and I'm that, I'm instantly going to unfriend you and block you. So just be real. I know why you're adding me as a friend on social media. Don't get angry if you don't get accepted to be an endorsee of a company or to work with that brand. Maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe it's a budget issue where they just don't have the money to spend on a new person right now. Keep that relationship going and just check in from time to time, and then maybe down the road, it will be a better fit. I've definitely had artists that didn't fit at the time that they first contacted me, but even a year or so down the road, it did make sense, and I ended up bringing them on the rosters, and they became great artists. But that also comes with being a good hang and just respecting the person that you're trying to build a relationship with. The last do, and one of the most important, is be patient. Like the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and the same thing goes with getting an endorsement deal. Unless you're some massive star that has so many followers and you're so passionate about this brand and you can do all this stuff for this company, it's gonna take time for them to want to do more with you. And the final don't, and this is probably the biggest one, don't think that an endorsement deal is gonna make you famous or is going to make you a bigger star in your area than what you already are. That is already the wrong expectation of what you're doing here. You are having a mutual relationship to further the sales of a said product, of a said brand, of a said company. Don't go into it expecting that company to do all of the work to make you bigger. At the end of the day, if a company doesn't sell enough of the product, then they're not going to have enough of the budget to support you. So those are some of the do's and don'ts on getting an endorsement deal. but I'm going to show you a couple tools that I use and I have artists use to make it a little bit more enticing to the company. One of my favorite tools to use is lessonsquad.com. I use this site for several different reasons. Number one, you can actually track all of your analytics and you can show the company that people are clicking through. You can see how many people, you can see when they're clicking. You have so much information. If you can give that information, it's going to be less work for them to research. Also, if you're already able to sell a bunch of products for them and you don't have a relationship with them already, they're going to realize, oh, wow, this person already loves our brand. They're already influencing our products. So why don't we work with them? On Lesson Squad, here is my page where I've got a little bit of my bio. You can book a lesson or a mentoring session. You can send me a message, but also you can see all of the gear that I recommend. And what's really great about this is every time somebody checks your page and clicks on an item, say they want to click on this Warm Audio WA412, which is the preamp that I use in my studio. Every time somebody clicks on that, it comes through and I can see how many clicks I had. Now you can also see a description here, and then you can see my recommendation. I use this preamp on every recording. I mostly put bass drum, snare, top, and 2 overheads through it, but I also love it for vocals. And then it gives the person a few options to buy it. And if that person does buy it through there, then it shows the company that sell through, and also you get a little bit of a kickback. Another great way to show your worth to a company is by going to the Facebook Creator Studio. I've mentioned this a few times, but in here you can see your insights, and this is what companies really want to see. So there's a lot of different things you can see in the insights. You can see how long people watch your videos. You can see what type of people, whether it's male, female, their age range, and then you can see when they watch it, how long they watch it for, and what things do better. So these are great numbers and great things to provide to a company, but what I think is great as an AR manager myself is the export data. You can set your date range and you can send all of this to that person so they see it in one single report. They can choose what they do and do not want to look at, and then it makes it easier on them so they don't have to search for that info. So there you go. Those are some of the best ways to get an endorsement deal. Again, just remember, this is a mutual relationship, and if you treat it like that, you're going to have a really great experience, and you're going to meet some great people and get to do some really neat things with those brands. Just remember, as much as they are a business and a brand, you are too. So don't forget to treat yourself like you are your own brand. Go in there and be professional and show them what you have to offer and why you can help their company. And for everybody watching today, there's a chance to win a free mentoring session with me. For the first month that this video is out, you have a chance to win a mentoring session with me on lessonsquad.com. All you have to do is just write something in the comments and ask me a question, and you'll be entered to win a mentoring session. What do you get with a mentoring session? Whatever you want. Do you want to talk about studio gear, how to build a desk, how to build the touchscreen, how to build your studio, or write up a pitch letter to a company? Whatever you want to do in this mentoring session is yours, but all you have to do is leave a comment down below. Here's a quick recap of what I talked about today. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to leave a comment and check the links below for more information on how you can get a hold of me.